Do you want to bake the perfect Christmas cake this year? Well, you're in the right place. Today we're diving into a festive journey, sharing 10 tips to help you bake the ultimate Christmas cake. Imagine the joy and delight of serving your own homemade cake during the most wonderful time of the year. Crafting a cake that not only looks great but tastes divine. Whether you're an experienced baker or a first-timer, these tips will help you bake a cake that will be the star of your Christmas feast. Let's start with the basics. The Christmas spirit is in the air, and so is the delightful aroma of a Christmas cake baking in the oven. But even the most seasoned bakers know that the magic begins with the basics. Our first tip is all about the ingredients. Quality matters. Always opt for the freshest and the finest. The butter should be creamy, the eggs fresh, and the flour unbleached. Don't compromise. After all, your Christmas cake deserves the best. Next, we move on to the temperature. Room temperature ingredients are a baker's secret weapon. They mix better, rise better, and bake better. So let that butter soften, let those eggs warm up, and watch your cake rise to perfection. And the third tip, follow the recipe. Baking isn't just an art, it's a science. Each ingredient has a role to play, and each measurement is as important as the next. A dash too much of this or a pinch too little of that, and your cake could be a flop. So measure carefully, mix thoroughly, and follow the recipe to the letter. These are the building blocks, the foundation upon which you build your baking masterpiece. So, invest in the best ingredients, pay attention to temperatures, and respect the recipe. Remember, baking is a science. Accuracy and quality matter. Now that we've covered the basics, let's move on to some intermediate tips. First, sifting dry ingredients. Sifting isn't just an old-fashioned step your grandmother insisted on. It's crucial for creating a smooth, airy batter. It removes any lumps and aerates the flour, allowing it to blend more uniformly with other ingredients. The result? A lighter, more delicate crumb in your Christmas cake. Next is the art of mixing. You've probably heard the term fold in the ingredients. This isn't just culinary jargon. Folding, rather than stirring, prevents overworking the batter, which can lead to a dense, heavy cake. Use a spatula and a gentle hand to fold your ingredients until just combined for a tender, moist cake. Lastly, preheating the oven. This ensures a consistent cooking environment from the moment your batter hits the racks. An even temperature is key to a well-risen, evenly baked cake. With these tips, your cake is already halfway to perfection. Ready for some advanced tips to take your cake to the next level? Let's dive in. First, checking the cake's doneness is crucial. Instead of relying solely on baking times, use a skewer or a knife. If it comes out clean, your cake is done. If not, give it a few more minutes. Next, cooling the cake properly is just as important as baking it. Allow it to cool in the tin for about 10 minutes before turning it out onto a wire rack to cool completely. This prevents the cake from breaking apart. Now, let's talk about icing. It's not just about slapping it on. For an even and smooth finish, apply a thin crumb coat first, let it set, then apply the final layer. Lastly, never underestimate the power of presentation. A well-presented cake can transform the entire eating experience. With these advanced tips, you're well on your way to baking the perfect Christmas cake. So, are you ready to bake the perfect Christmas cake? Let's quickly recap. From choosing quality ingredients, to mastering the right baking temperature, from adding a personal touch with decorations, to perfecting that glossy icing, we've covered 10 tips to elevate your cake game. Remember, each cake you bake brings you closer to perfection. So, don't shy away from the challenge. This Christmas, impress your family and friends with a cake that not only tastes delicious, but also looks like a piece of art. Happy baking!